It's the complimentary breakfast.
Stevie Starr The Regurgitator is with us this morning. Swallows all sorts of stuff, brings it back up immediately. You know what I don't understand is I saw a report from a doctor earlier. You know, we have some doctors listening. And someone said what he doesn't understand is why it's not wet when it comes back up. He says because in your stomach you've got acids. He doesn't understand that part. Why is it dry? We don't get it.
Yeah, I just control it. When it's coming up, it's like an air suction. When I go, I'm drying everything off, everything comes up. So when it's coming up, it's not warm, it's freezing cold. So I'm actually drying, I'm sucking in freezing cold air that dries it as it's making its way up.
Incredible.
And what I do also when I swallow objects, I memorize where they are. You know, for example, when I swallow the butane gas or when I swallow the cigarette smoke, they go into the esophagus, so I have control where I can open and close the esophagus. So if I swallow the gas, I could keep it in for a year and it will not come out until I actually choose to release it. It would just stay there.
So
Insane.
if they take a scan of your body, they'll see it.
Oh yeah, they did it in London with the History Channel and Discovery Channel. They came to London and I had to do it with them, and they got two top doctors in London who made me swallow the scope, and they had checked me inside out and they said physically you're exactly like anyone else, no different, but you've got exceptional control.
Now you've come a long way, Stevie Starr, because you an orphanage. You grew up in an orphanage.
Yes.
And this is actually where you started discovering this talent of yours, and there was a reason why. All of this started.
I lived in a children's home in Glasgow, Scotland, and I was there for 19 years. And we had 700 children in the home. And every Saturday you would line up and get so much pocket money where you could buy candies and sweets and things. And kids being kids, they would steal from each other because there were so many of them. And just by pure accident, I happened to swallow 2 little pennies. And I would go, and the little pennies would keep coming up. And I'd run around showing everyone, hey, watch this, look. And then I'd go into the garden and I'd lift like a bumblebee from the flower. And I'd swallow the bumblebee and it would come up, dry, and fly away.
Yeah.
And I did that in the classroom, and I got expelled from school for being a little, I won't say the word.
So then you started experimenting with other things.
Yeah, like in the classroom, for example, I'd swallow 3 different coloured chalks, and the teacher would come in, and when anything was missing, she'd look directly at me. Stevie, yes, miss, chalk. What colour do you want, miss? And I'd cough up the colours.
Wow.
You know, and I was a little pain, but it was funny.
So I saw you swallowing a cell phone once. What's the largest thing that you can swallow?
I think the biggest thing is the Canadian hockey puck.
No!
Would be the largest object.
Does this have any relation to, you know, we all know swords swallowing. Is it in that field?
No, completely different.
Okay.
Sword swallowing, you just put in and bring straight back out again, but the objects that I swallow are all in separate areas. For example, when I swallow the sugar, then I drink the water, I have to keep the sugar completely separate from the water so it can return back dry.
You know, the nice thing about you is you prove once again that there's a lot of things in this world that we will never understand, and we need to make peace with that. Now, Stevie's going to demonstrate to you now. You're going to do that sugar thing to us now.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
I've got a small glass of dried powder sugar here. If you want to, would you like to just taste that and make sure that is sugar? It's a sweetener because it takes longer for that to dissolve than say regular sugar would, so I can keep it in longer. So I'm going to put the sugar into my tummy, and I've also got a glass of water standing by here, so I'll put the sugar in first.
Taking the sugar, swallowing
Sugar is gone.
Okay.
Alright.
Water going in.
Full glass of water.
Yep.
There we go. And it's gone. Glass of water. Ciao. Drinking it normally.
A gargle. Open your hands. So I'm going to bring the sugar up onto your hand, okay? Watch carefully. It's coming back up. Here's the sugar.
Oh my word!
It's coming out. Like water sugar. Is it dry?
It's dry like the sugar that was in the cup. It's dry in my hand.
Ek sweer, ek kan nie glo wat ek sien.
It's the complimentary breakfast.